Next is a video from the YouTube channel BloodZach12, who had been living peacefully in his house until he started noticing bizarre events all around his house. Luckily, one afternoon, his phone was at hand to capture what he described as the craziest thing he'd ever seen. This is the footage he caught.
Hello? Whoa! What the hell? What the? Come on, come on. Here for a little bit. I'm gonna see. Quiet here. I just need to go upstairs and get some of my stuff and leave. Christ. What the fuck? Shit. Oh fuck. What the fuck? Stop. Fucking stop. Stop!
That afternoon, he hears a noise coming from his kitchen and decides to investigate with his camera. He finds his front door unlocked and objects strewn around the kitchen. As he returns to his room, he hears footsteps coming towards him. Scared senseless, he hides in a closet and then returns to a completely wrecked kitchen. Then a mysterious banging starts in his door. And no one is there. Whatever entity was present in that house even knocked his phone out of his hand. Whether he brought this malevolent spirit home or inadvertently released it by opening something in that house, this scene looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Somebody is definitely going to be on the phone with the real estate agent after this. What do you make of this whole experience?
This person noticed something extremely wrong while checking out the CCTV footage of the car park outside. They noticed a distant headlight approaching and thought nothing of it, until something peculiar revealed itself out of the fog. There's nobody on the bike. Motorbikes can sustain themselves like that for a while, but for what possible reason would it be riding like that for so long? It clearly had no consideration for the oncoming traffic, so it either wasn't being controlled by anyone, or the thing controlling it didn't care. But surely, there would have been someone on it before it became fully visible for it to stay upright for so long. So, where did they go? And what did they do? How could this even happen? Do you have any ideas? Discuss them in the comments section.
If you know us, you'll know the Ghost Hunter channel In the Dark. He's been running headfirst into the spookiest abandoned buildings for years, armed with nothing but a cigarette and a camera. Over the years, he's caught some positively petrifying paranormal footage. And here are some of the best bits from a myriad of different buildings.
Baba, öbür kapıya bak. Öbür kapıya bak.
Arkadaşlar içerisi yıkılıyor resmen. Ay, dolap yıkıldı. Arkadaşlar dolap. O duvarda asılı olan dolap yıkıldı resmen. Ben buradan nasıl geçeceğim şimdi, en iyisi alttan. Bakın hala hareket ediyor. Arkadaşlar geri düzeldi. Bismillah, 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 bismillah.
Baba çek. Bismillah. Gir içeri. Var mı bir şey? Yok. Arkadaşlar buradan ses geldi. Bismillah. Bidon hareket etti, gördünüz mü? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah canımı alsın ki hareket etti ya.
All of these clips are wildly entertaining as much as they are petrifying, because no matter how long you've been ghost hunting, those buildings never get any less terrifying. But there's always the chance that he could have just had an extra person following along to bash the doors or pull some strings. But the strangest thing that we found in this compilation he posted was this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kamera hareket etti. Allah belamı versin, kamera hareket etti. Çekiyor mu ya?
Look closely at the wall on the left. As he walks past it to get to the camera, the area around it seems to bend and snap back. This footage has clearly been edited, but for what reason would he possibly edit that part of the wall? And if he's edited one video, who's to say he hasn't edited more? What do you think about this one? Does this discredit the footage in the Darkers court or not?
Facebook user Catherine Ann Marcos is someone with a rare gift often mistaken for a curse. Diagnosed with severe schizophrenia early in life, she would always see colours around people as well as in their eyes. As she got older, it pretty much got worse, as she claimed she could hear the voices of angels and demons and see non-existent colours. When she was around people, she could feel their energy so much that it would wear her down to the point of immobility. This went on for a while until she was checked into a mental hospital, where the right medication reduced her ability to faintly sense energies around her, whether good or sinister. On this particular night, after returning from a dinner date with her husband, she felt the temperature drop around the room and noticed her dog acting all weird. That was when she decided to record whatever was about to happen. Take a look.
Yeah.
And he died. Literally.
Yeah.
After leaving. Because they were like joking and talking shit about the place.
Yeah.
Like disrespecting it. And the guy died. The girl lived. She got fucked up, but she lived.
Yeah.
And then there was another, he said another incident where an actual priest.
Yeah.
Don't say that to everybody because you're filming me too.
No, you couldn't see you.
Her dog looked tensed and concerned about their bedroom door, as though someone or something was standing there, and it might be onto something. She claimed that she felt the energy of her late brother, who sadly passed away a few weeks prior. She said that she'd felt that way all day, and believed that her brother was trying to communicate with her. Do you believe in her story, or have you had a similar experience of a lost loved one trying to communicate? Let us know in the comments.
You thought you could get through a compilation without the Goose Pimples Nightmare Fuel special? Well, buckle up, because this guy caught some of the creepiest haunted doll footage we have ever seen. The doll head didn't look like it turned. It seemed to snap into a different position, which would be nearly impossible to do with fishing wire. And the account caught this same doll moving around a few times, sometimes while locked behind a cabinet door. So what the hell could be happening here? YouTuber Witch Doctor has been haunted by an unholy presence ever since he moved into his new home. Now, in this new spot, peaceful nights are a rare thing. A typical night for him, voices screeching through the walls, objects mysteriously falling, and, on the worst nights, waking up with strange marks on his body. He's been posting videos of his experiences on his channel for a while now, following the advice and tips from his viewers, but nothing has worked so far. On this particular night, he tried a ritual suggested by someone in the comments, and little did he know, it was about to make his life even more of a nightmare. Here's a clip from that night.
Друзья, это просто какой-то кошмар. Твою мать.
Whatever he did during that ritual must have seriously pissed off the malevolent spirit. Shelves and other things in his kitchen started moving around like a scene straight out of a horror movie, right in front of his eyes. So, what went wrong? What could have triggered such a violent response? Well, it wasn't really about what went wrong with the ritual itself. It was all about who or what it was directed at. The ritual was supposed to banish ghosts or unsettled spirits, but the entity haunting his home was way more dangerous. Through a divination ritual, he later found out he was dealing with a powerful demon, Valak. Trying to play devil's advocate here, but we think he might accidentally insulted the demon by using a ritual meant for ghosts, and from that point on, things only got worse. Check out what happened the next day.
Твою мать, у меня кровь. Сука. Твою мать. Черт. Блять. Что это? Сука, это реально кровь. Хуйня. Блять. Твою мать. Сука. Умри, умри, умри. Я думаю, надо валить из этой квартиры.
After the word die mysteriously appeared in the mirror just outside his bedroom, he woke up to someone or something trying to strangle him. This shook him so much that he knew he had to act fast before the demon killed him, or worse. So, what did he do? You'll never guess.
Если ты здесь, ты можешь дать мне знак. Выйди на контакт с помощью доски Уиджи. Начинается. Напиши свое имя. Кто ты? В. А. Л. О. К. Ты Валок? Да. Черт возьми. Это демон. Валок. Что это значит, Валок? Он передвинул планшетку на прощай.
Clever isn't he? Do you think he'll ever get rid of this demon now that he's messing around with the Ouija board? Or is this the start of a charming relationship? Let us know your thoughts.
Toni Lowry, a mother of 5 from New Jersey, was having a regular Tuesday morning getting her kids ready for school. But around 7 AM, one of her sons came running to her, completely freaked out. He swore he heard a woman's voice coming from the closet downstairs. At first, Toni tried to laugh it off, thinking maybe it was just his brother messing with him. After all, her daughters were still in bed, and no one else was home. But when she saw how shaken up her son was, she decided to check the security footage just to be sure. What she found left her jaw wide open in disbelief. Take a look. We can hear a chilling voice say, "How did you find me?" Now terrified and worried, Toni grabbed a hammer and checked every room, thinking it might be an intruder. But she found absolutely nothing. No one and nothing could have possibly spoken those words. A few days later, some concerned followers asked for an update of her unsettling encounter. In response, she posted this upsetting video.
Do not leave me, please. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, please. I'll do anything.
Now scared of the dark or sleeping alone, the poor boy is scared witless of being downstairs, not even with his brother. Should the family be looking for another house? Or do you think this is something that will eventually blow over? Let us know in the comments.
This kid was playing with his phone camera back in the old days when phone cameras were still interesting and new. He pointed the camera at himself, as you do, and that was that. No big deal at first. It was only when his dad checked the footage that he realised his son caught something absolutely terrifying on camera. This is what was caught that night.
Algo increíble. En Guayaquil, un menor grabó con un teléfono celular una extraña imagen. Veamos de qué se trata en el siguiente reporte.
Fue en este cuarto donde la extraña imagen hizo su aparición. Difícilmente se la puede describir. El susto fue grande en esta casa. En la barriada de las calles 44 y la E en el suroeste de Guayaquil están sorprendidos con el hecho. Sin saber si es algo del más allá o no, el tema sigue generando rumores. Luis Galvez, El Noticiero.
Looks like they weren't the only two in the video. While this sort of video could be very easily faked, you have to ask yourself, why did it go all the way to the news? Basically, the whole family was interviewed about the strange extraterrestrial form that seemed to have made itself a home in their house. That certainly boosts its credibility a bit in our eyes. But what do you think? Let us know.
Children's minds can be so powerful and vast, but when your child seems to enjoy talking to an empty space, you know it's time to be worried. This TikToker, Nuthead Noah, noticed how strangely one of his boys had been acting and decided to record it. The footage might have just confirmed his greatest fear. Take a look.
This dude's actually just sat like he's talking to someone, but his brother's downstairs. Me. Who are you talking to?
Edward.
Who's Edward?
He's right there.
Nope! Nope, nope, nope.
Who or what could he have been talking to? An imaginary friend? A ghost? Who knows? Maybe he's simply messing with his dad. Or is he?
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
This one will make you feel like you're either in a real-life horror movie or watching it on the silver screen. Because Alfred Hitchcock himself could have written and recorded it. The footage was caught in Mexico at an unspecified time, showing a somewhat menacing sight of hundreds of birds who seemed to want to take over the street. What would make a huge group of birds simultaneously stop flying and all land in the exact same place? Could this be proof that birds aren't real? Do they work for the bourgeoisie, as the memes described? Or is it a sign of some sort of natural disaster or a migration break due to lack of trees? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
The video you're about to watch was taken by a lady who only wanted to capture the crashing lightning in the sky on a rainy night. Little did she know that she'd capture something more electrifying than any storm. While the sky rumbles with thunder and lightning, something lightning fast zips across her camera, and she doesn't even know. Didn't spot it? Take a closer look. Who or what was that? Was it someone trying to keep away from the storm, or did she inadvertently capture a shadowy figure or a ghost? Thunderstorms tend to stir energy in the atmosphere, and it is believed that paranormal activities such as ghost manifestations and sightings increase during this period. Perhaps this explains the strange figures that made an eerie cameo in her video. Or maybe not. You be the judge.
Working security shifts at a hospital must be one of the eeriest jobs going, especially if stuff like this happens in the middle of your shift.
Come on. Fucking Christ. See, I fucking do. No.
That's enough to get anyone reaching for their spare pair of pants. Why did the guard sound so terrified? It's his job to defend and protect the building. So surely, he's seen scarier stuff than a wayward wheelchair. Could the souls of a patient be trying to travel through the corridors? Around 1 in the morning, during a couple's sleepover, things started to feel off. It was like someone or something was in the house with them. The unease kept building. Strange sounds they couldn't explain kept going louder, and while the women were nervously smiling, freaking out on the inside, their husbands were doing their best to play it cool. But the tension was real, and the bangs kept coming. One of the guys, sensing that something bad was about to happen, pulled out his phone to start recording while they all waited for the police to show up. And just as the cops arrived, this happened. Take a look.
Maintenant je pense qu'on va rentrer tranquillement. What?
C'est vous? Excusez-moi, est-ce que vous pouvez baisser la caméra?
Ouais, bien sûr.
Bon. What? Il y a de l'ambiance chez vous, monsieur?
Bah ouais, ouais, vous voulez venir avec nous ou pas?
Écoutez, non?
What? Wow! C'est quoi ça? Wow!
Damien?
Non? What? Wow! C'est quoi ça? Wow!
Even after the police showed up, the eerie presence that had been moving and flinging things around the apartment didn't stop. The couples, being skeptics, couldn't believe they were actually being haunted. They hadn't seen anything like this before, which is why they called the cops in the first place. But to everyone's shock, things only got worse once the police stepped in. The disturbances ramped up, almost like whatever was in the house wanted to make itself known even more. So, what's going on here? Did they accidentally stir up some spirit, or was this just a random haunting? If that's even a thing. This one's definitely going in the unsolved pile.
In August 2021, YouTuber Dark Mystic jumped on a terrifying adventure to investigate a haunted house deep in the Russian woods. Well, it turned out to be an experience that would push him to his limits. According to him, other paranormal investigators went there with their fancy gadgets and camera crew. But apparently, only those who Rambo the challenge alone end up catching something unexplainable. Those usually come back pretty shaken up by what they encounter there, with a few swearing never to set foot in that place again. The place became so feared that its Russian nickname loosely translates to the Ghost Residence, while others simply call it the House with the Violent Ghost. But what is a malevolent spirit to a man whose goal is to explore the most haunted places in Russia? On this Friday night, he packed his gear, ready to venture into this crazy house. But boy, it was an experience he won't be forgetting anytime soon.
Так, а тут, по-моему, были заколочены стекла. Это что? Кто это делает? Ребят, по-моему, когда я здесь был, окна были заколочены. Ракетка теннисная. Отваливается где-то, а?
A couple of minutes before midnight, he starts his investigation by first going through each room of the house to prove to his fans that the place is completely empty. But as he moves through the house, the tension starts to build as he begins to hear things, with absolutely no one or thing in sight. It's easy to put this down as an insect or rodent, right? That's what we thought too. But this subsequent encounter proves that there might be something way more unsettling at play here. This is the footage that was caught.
Сейчас приступаем к КГФ и попробуем узнать, кто тут есть. Здесь со мной может выйти кто-нибудь на контакт. Здесь со мной может выйти кто-нибудь на контакт. Слушай, что тут произошло? Здесь со мной может выйти кто-нибудь на контакт. О, пламя разгорелось.
As he tries to make contact with whatever's lurking in the house, the shelf suddenly shakes. Like someone or something wanted to make sure he knew it was there. Then the candle flame starts flickering, but this wasn't just a breeze. Convinced that whatever made the noise wanted to communicate, he kept pushing for more. Little did he know, he was in way over his head.
Я заметил шумы, падения и всякой еще ерунды. Я знаю, что ты здесь находишься. Ты можешь?
Я могу.
Молодец. Ты можешь назвать свое имя? Меня зовут Евгений. Ты можешь назвать свое имя? Назови свое имя.
Назови ты.
Я тебе только что назвал свое имя. Назови свое имя.
Назови ты.
Я тебе только что назвал свое имя. Это что сейчас было? Психуешь, что ли? Где ты сейчас находишься? Что тут происходит? Камера пишет. Где ты сейчас находишься?
Сзади тебя.
It seemed like our guy struck a nerve when he asked for the spirit's name. After all, malevolent spirits don't just hand out their names. Too much risk of exorcism. That's when the wardrobe door in the next room suddenly creaked shut. And to make things even creepier, his camera caught the exact moment the mirror reflected light from the other camera. What's even creepier is that he claimed the wardrobe door had been wedged to the floor when he first checked it out. So you can imagine the shock on his face when he realized it had been moved by someone or something. But that wasn't the only spine-chilling moment. Just as he asked where the entity was, did you notice how the device eerily responded? Behind you.
Сзади тебя.
Is this all just a clever trick? A game of smoke and mirrors? Hold that thought and see what happens next.
Ходит. Это ты это делаешь? Что-то вроде все успокоилось. Какой нервный, а?
Нет.
Это не ты это все делаешь. А кто это делает? Ты один в этом доме? Сколько вас здесь находится? Сколько вас здесь находится?
Четыре.
Что там, полдома что-то развалилось? Нет, она вроде целая. Это что такое упало? Это дверь, что ли?
While interacting with whatever was lurking in the house, he discovers 3 other entities. As the night dragged on, these entities got more aggressive, trying to get close, but it seemed like something was keeping them from reaching him. That might explain the footsteps from the attic, and the chunk of the building that fell caught on camera 4. No one was seen in either case, making the whole thing even creepier. But after all that, the spirit suddenly went radio silent, leaving him alone with the unsettling question of what went wrong. He eventually left with an experience that's definitely etched into his memory. What will he find next? We'll just have to wait and see.
Almost all kids fear the monster under their beds, and it was no different in this house. The kids felt something was after them, but it wasn't just under the bed, it was all over the house. Apparently, the little girl went to her parents' room, terrified, saying she saw someone on the ceiling. Her parents didn't believe her until they watched the footage and noticed the light flickering and the sound of the switch clicking. But everyone was in bed. The activity didn't stop there though. No matter how much the parents moved the kids' beds, the boogeyman always found them. She felt something touch her foot and thought it was the dog. The camera captured her genuine reaction, showing her feet moving naturally, as if in response to a touch. They often capture weird orbs and strange knots on their YZ cameras, including here, where 3 clear taps or knots can be heard as the orbs move behind the camera. If this isn't enough to get you to sleep with your feet under the quilt, I don't know what is.
It's 20 minutes past midnight when this guy jolts up from his sleep thanks to a mysterious sound from one of the rooms. Armed with his phone, he opts to figure out what wouldn't let him sleep and discovers that the noise is coming from his toilet. Surely it couldn't have been more than a stray cat stuck in there, he thought to himself. But what he found was so baffling that he had to post it on social media with the hopes of finding a logical explanation for what he just experienced. TikTok channel Tristan8104 stumbled upon it and uploaded it to their 170k followers, and they were just as confused as our guy. Here's why. It seemed as though someone was engaging the door handle from inside, trying to get out. But when he opens the door, no one is there. For someone who'd just woken up from sleep to such a hair-raising sight, he was pretty chill about his door handle mysteriously coming to life, something that commenters also alluded to. However, even the bravest hearts have their limits. Take a look at the paranormal cocktail that made him gasp in disbelief. Upon returning from the toilet, he hears more eerie disturbances. Right before his eyes, his blanket stands tall, forming the chilling figure of a full-grown man, before coming back down like a deflated balloon. His heart pounds and his breath flutters as panic sets in. This couldn't have been a trick of the light or a figment of his imagination. It was a nightmare happening in real life. Then, it finally hits him. There is no way he could spend the rest of the night in that house. So he grabs some stuff and bolts for the exit. With not much shared about the house's history, it's hard to draw a conclusion on this one. But what's your take on this? Let us know in the comments.
Late one night, a staff member from this Pakistani asylum came back to his shift and quickly skimmed through the night's CCTV camera footage, as he does every day as part of his morning routine. However, this time he noticed something strange on the monitor. Two of the patients were caught lying on the floor of the recreational room. To this day, no one knows why they both left their rooms, but that's not the most unsettling part. The real horror comes with what the camera captured next. Watch closely. As the staff member watched in disbelief, two ghostly figures appeared near the patients. They seemed to move unnaturally, dragging themselves across the room before suddenly vanishing into thin air. He rewound the footage several times, unable to believe his eyes. What were those figures? And why did they appear only when the patients were on the floor? These questions remain unanswered, unless you have any theories. Let us know in the comments.
We all see things fly past us out the corners of our eyes. Whether you're at home or out in the open, you've probably felt that distinctive "what the hell was that" feeling, and sensed something fleeting past. Normally you can brush it all off as a wild imagination, but what happens when the invisible entity is caught on camera? Check out this CCTV footage that shows a mind-boggling figure rushing down the road. What in the world was that? It moves so quickly that even in the slowed down segments it's shown as a short series of images jutting past the screen. It takes the shape of something extraterrestrial, but what is it? It could be something done on editing software, but there's no way of knowing for sure. Then again, it might have been the Flash.
We're not gonna win this today.
This ghost video was uploaded by the YouTube channel The Bearded Explorer on his recent adventure in Europe exploring abandoned houses in the woods, and it has raked up a decent number of views. Before long, some viewers started commenting about something strange in the video. Watch closely.
So we'll start with this one first, because this one looks like it's got a lot of stuff inside, and it has. I've got some more photographs here, look. He looks a little bit like Nicholas Lyndhurst. Wow. Just look at the stuff in here, it's so old. The ceiling is completely covered in mould. Bit of condensation up in the corner again. Look at this cupboard, completely filled with clothes still. Wow. Absolutely amazing. That. It looks as if something's been climbing in. Oh god, frightening in the bag, just hit my leg. I thought someone tapped my leg. It looks as if something's been climbing in here and sleeping in here, maybe. Maybe there is an animal of some sort. Look at all these photographs, wow.
Did you see that? It looked like the feet of someone or something hiding behind the curtains. Strangely, he never mentioned anything about these mysterious feet in his video or after editing it. It's almost as though he completely missed it. If we say it was a mere reflection of the curtain, how come we don't see it the second time the camera panned in that direction? Was it due to the change of camera angle, or did whatever was there simply disappear? But wait, that wasn't the only creepy thing captured that day. This one was hard to miss, even for our intrepid explorer. Take a look.
Unpack them. Right, let's try and get out of here without breaking anything. So what I'll do now, guys, I will run around, do all my pictures, my Instagram story and a TikTok video, and I'll see you back outside again very, very soon. Right guys, well that is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Please go and check out the Instagram, which is @thebeardedexplore_. Also go and check out the Facebook page. Like always,
after setting up his camera outside to record his outro, the camera captures an eerie moment of the curtain moving as if being pulled back by someone or something peeking. He only notices this during post-production. There's no way the Wing could do this. He definitely wasn't alone in the house. In fact, viewers claim they also saw the curtain move as he entered the house. Clearly, no one could be pulling the curtains back, suggesting that there could have been an unholy presence in the house. Could this sum up our paranormal suspicion? Or maybe he's just good at hiding his accomplice. We'll let you decide.
Your running shoes usually only move when they're on, well, your feet. But this terrifying trainer seemed to have other ideas.
You look at
Shit. Busted.
Really wish I could have stayed there so much longer. Oh my god. This happens to me every time. I'm so sad.
Whoa.
What?
Nothing.
Looks like they're called running shoes for more reasons than one. How do you explain what happened here? Let us know.
Nothing could be more worrying than having your little ones run to you in fear, claiming they saw someone in the house. The little girl in the video you're about to watch informed her dad of a strange figure she saw in her basement playhouse. In an attempt to convince his daughter that there's no way anyone could be in the basement, he pulls a bravado act and decides to investigate with just his camera. But what he got was more than his worst nightmare. The following is the footage he captured. Take a look.
Oh my... What are you doing there? Who are you?
I got you good.
Oh yes you did. Oh, you got my heart good.
While many smiled at how cute this prank was, others were quick to spot a few disturbing details about the video. First off, there was another male voice that said, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
The kicker is that it wasn't her dad's, and they were reportedly alone in the house at the time. After that, the toy on the stairs mysteriously gets hurled at him, leaving more questions than answers. With his mischievous daughter now out of the room, what on earth did that? Did they just experience paranormal activity, or was he literally pulling the strings on this one? Share your thoughts in the comment section.
This terrifying paranormal video was captured by Savannah, who was getting ready to go out with her boyfriend and celebrate their 2nd anniversary. While capturing the moment, she noticed something just out of the corner of her eye. She thought she was just imagining things, but her blood ran cold when she realized she had caught the mysterious event on camera. Take a look.
I'm Savannah. And it is our 2-year anniversary. Officially 2 years. We've been dating for 2 years, but we've known each other forever. You didn't just see something come in here?
We can see what she believes to be a ghostly figure of an old lady with her hair up, passing by the corridor. Savannah couldn't believe what she was seeing. What makes this even more chilling is that her boyfriend was there too and didn't see anything. In her comment section, people said it was her boyfriend, but she was too quick to shout, "I think I know my boyfriend when I see him," and that was not him. According to her, the old lady's apparition was only visible on camera. Imagine discovering something like this while just trying to capture a happy moment. It's well known that paranormal believers think that mirrors facing each other create portals for spirits to use. But what do you think? Let us know.
Going to the hospital is never a particularly positive experience. The sterile smells, bright lights, and seemingly endless corridors are enough to set anyone a little bit on edge. But what this person saw on their patrol through the wards late one night amid the pandemic, when the wards should have been mostly, if not completely empty, turned out to be even more terrifying than anything else you could find in a hospital. Take a look. If you missed it, don't worry, it's quite hard to spot, so let's slow down and zoom in. Look at the bin with the red bag inside, and try your eyes up to the wall next to it and you can see the vague outline of a pale face slightly sticking out. On a closer look, the face seems to have a middle part with long hair and some kind of eye makeup on. This could mean one of three things. Someone stuck a print out of a creepy face behind that wall to freak out the co-workers. A patient was wandering through the wards alone at night and was spotted, or there's something much more sinister roaming through the building. Do you have any other theories? Leave them down below.
The spine-tingling video you're about to watch was captured by Urbex Castronautica, who decided to investigate a cemetery one of their subscribers suggested. At first, everything seemed normal, just a crumbling tomb and its eerie silence. But when they reviewed the footage later, what they saw turned their faces ghostly pale. It was something they never experienced until now. Take a look.
No sé, debe ser porque vi Candyman.
Están re abandonados, boludo.
Como la lógica y lo usan como los jaulones, viste, que hacen los panales. La abeja se confunde y hace algo similar en ese lugar. No. Mira lo que es esto.
The La Plata Cemetery in Buenos Aires, Argentina, is an old resting place famous for its controversies and ghostly tales. But when these guys inspected the tomb, they didn't expect anything unusual until one of their subscribers spotted a pale white hand reaching out from the coffin. Could this be the ghost of one of the people buried there? Bearing in mind the dark history of satanic rituals, witchcraft, and ghost sightings in this cemetery? Or maybe worse. Perhaps they just found a portal to the underworld where demons infiltrate our realm. Besides, what the hell cracked the tomb open like that? While these are stark possibilities, there's also a chance that someone edited the video to plant fear in our hearts, since that graveyard is already known for such things. But what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Mike was pottering about the house, just doing general picking up toys duty, until he heard a voice gently whisper his name, thinking it was one of the kids messing around. He thought nothing of it, but that was when he realised that he, the dog, and the cat were the only ones in the house at the time. That's definitely someone saying Mike. But who could it be? You couldn't pay most people to move that fast, so his reaction seems pretty genuine. He also says that the home dates all the way back to the 1850s, so there could well be a lost soul pinging for his attention. What do you think?